Welcome to Ruthe Gray, All Things Gardening. Today we're in the nursery. You can see here we're going to talk about transplanting. So we've put our aloe seeds into their trays. They've grown beautifully, so now we're going to look at transplanting into bags. The same principle applies if you're transplanting into a bag or if you're going to put it into the ground. So let's go and do our transplants. So here we have our transplants. As you can see, they're nice, healthy, got some good growth on them. I'm going to plant into a 2.5 litre bag because I'm doing a medium-sized aloe. I have got in here my compost mixed with some coarse river sand because, again, remember, aloes don't like to get their roots wet. So this is slightly damp, so I don't need to water after I've planted. Make sure you press your soil down into the bag. This is to take out any air spaces that could be in your medium. When you have air spaces in your plant medium or in your soil, even in the ground, if you don't heal your aloe in, you create an air pocket. That air pocket stops any water from traveling through. So if this is your air pocket, the water goes around instead of through the soil. You may have a root in this area here. In that case, there will be no water, no nutrients getting and being taken up by that root, so you're going to have problems. So always make sure you press your plant down into your soil, you heal it in. So we've done that. Right, let's take a transplant, tease it out. There we are. Just clean it up. Right, as you can see here, slightly long. If you find that your roots are too long to go into the bag, you can trim them back. Just take that little bit off there. Right, so when we are going to put our compost in, you only need to make sure that you're level with the soil where the roots start to come out. If I start to put the compost into the stem, and again I transplant, say for example to here, this will eventually rot off. Right, so I'm holding the plant so I can see where the roots are. Make sure they're not doubled up and that they're lying in there nicely. Just tap it down and turn. Compost on the other side. Starting on the outside and working in. I am pressing down my compost, taking out any air spores, and I'm working towards the center. I just put my fingers around so I can feel the stem and press down. Therefore, I clear away any excess soil compost that could be sitting there. So let's just check and make sure we've planted correctly. As you can see here, there we are. The soil is level with the bottom of the stem where the roots start to come out, so we know that everything there is correct. And then make sure that you label your aloe and it's ready to go out into the nursery. We don't need to water because we're already using a slightly damp compost. If you do use a dry compost, make sure you give a little bit of water onto your aloe. Once it is soaked through, press down again, so if there are any air spaces in there, you've removed them by healing back in again. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any comments, please give me some feedback. I'd like to hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, tag the bell, and you'll receive the next notification of All Things Gardening by Ruthe Gray.